What's going on, good peoples? It is yours truly, Mike here, back at Mike in the Game, welcoming in the new year with a brand new video. We are now in 2025, and I hope you've had a great holiday season, which was last year in 2024. But I hope you had a very blessed holiday season with your Christmas, welcoming in the new year on your New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, all that has to go into it. But many blessings to you. And as always, thank you for always checking out the channel, liking, subscribing, and showing love in any shape and form. It's always greatly appreciated. But in today's video, it's been a lot of college football, a lot of craziness that has gone on within the past week or so, which was last week. But one game I definitely want to talk on, the outlook for the University of Texas going against Ohio State. Now, Ohio State is coming off of a big run. They've been putting up some big numbers, and the outlook for them is looking really good. They have a really good chance of getting to the national championship this year, which is the scary part about it, and they're looking pretty scary. All of the weapons that Ohio State has is looking pretty deadly, and I'm pretty sure everybody has seen. I've definitely seen it. You, the viewer, you definitely have seen it as well. Well, Howard's looking on point from the Michigan game. They've looked a little, a little out of place, a little out of body experiences in that Michigan game, but they look to be putting together all three phases of football in all four quarters. These past two games in the college football playoffs, we saw that Tennessee matchup in that cold weather, that big game. I mean, that was a big game. First round of the playoffs, and that's how you started off with a big banger like that. That's impressive. So what Texas is gonna need to do in this matchup, and I'm pretty sure everybody kind of already knows this, you can't go man-to-man with them. You can't go man-to-man in the defensive coverage with them. They have to come up with a really good scheme to be able to cover everywhere and can really control it and make Ohio State play their type of ball. Because we saw Jeremiah Smith, bad man. You get the ball in his hands, he's going to make something happen. And we definitely all have seen that. And then you also got to remember their other receivers, Emeka Egbuka, another star receiver. That's another person that has to be accounted for in the wide receiver room. And then their deadly two horses are running back, Henderson and Judkins. Now for Texas on the defensive side of things, they're definitely going to need to be on point. We just listed everything that Ohio State, all the weapons they have. They probably have some more hidden arsenals that I didn't name, but they have an arsenal. That front seven has done a pretty good job of getting back there to the quarterback, causing havoc and making them uncomfortable. Now, had a little iffy situations when it came to last game when they played Arizona State. That was a big shocker to a lot of people, because in all reality, when you really look at it, Arizona State probably should have won that game. They definitely should have won that game. When you really look down and you watch play-by-play, you really like break it down and analyze it, they should have won that game. But this is going to be a redemption game for them to bounce back from what they put on film last week, because I'm definitely sure, promise you, Ohio State's going to look at that film and they're going to take it and try to run with it. So it's going to be very important that you dominate and win the line of scrimmage. We already know Ohio State has had a couple offensive linemen switch around. They're playing switcheroo with the offensive linemen. So you're going to need to hone in on that so you can cause a little pressure. And that secondary is going to have to be on point. They have a good enough speedy wide receiver core that can beat you. And they block. That's one of the biggest things too. Those wide receivers block and help each other out. So that secondary, they have the speed for it and they can keep up. But man-to-man defense is going to be very tough to initiate and run against this Ohio State offense, which has been shown against teams like Oregon and Tennessee. Now, going to the offense, it's just as important as it is for the defense. You got to play complementary football, especially in this matchup when you're going against Ohio State, who's been dominant this whole playoff run. Quinn Ewers is going to have to play a very, very NFL type game, if we're being completely honest. An NFL level type game, no turnovers, being able to hit his key receivers and make those game changing plays that we kind of saw at the end of Arizona State. Now, a little bit of assessment from that matchup. Obviously, he threw an interception that kind of shifted and gave momentum to Arizona State to spark life into that game. And as well as Quinn Ewers having a stellar game, establishing the running game is going to be very much important as well. Being able to run in between the tackles or even outside of tackles, running some outside zone or some pin and pull. Establishing that run game is going to be very important, because we know as we all watch the game of football, run game is really what sets the tone up front at the beginning of the game, and it helps you open up the passing game, whether it's short passes, RPOs, play actions. It opens it all up. So establishing that, because I know they've been trying to do that. They've been trying to do that late this season, so establishing that can really be beneficial to them. But overall, they can't stall out. This is a matchup and a team you can't stall out on. We've seen a couple times throughout this season that Texas will get up early and it's looking like, oh, they're about to run the table on them. It's game over. It's GG's. But in all reality, they stall out. And I don't know what it is. I'm not on their staff. I'm just going off based off stuff that I've seen in previous and multiple games that I've seen. They stall out and they kind of take their foot off the gas pedal instead of pushing it all the way down and continuing going. They're definitely going to need to keep it going and leave it all out there on the table against this team, because it's going to take everybody, all 11 players on that offensive side of the ball, to really get this thing going and get this thing done. Because in all reality, Texas has the pieces to get this done, but they have to play all 3 phases of football and all 4 quarters of the game. No stalling out like they did against Arizona State. They got to really put it together, and they can't let the momentum swing away from them, because we know it's college football. Once that momentum swings away, they're going to run up the table on it. And we kind of saw that hint of that against Arizona State, and we saw a lot of that when it came to Ohio State. So that's going to be the big deciding factor. But as always, let me know down in the comments what you think about this matchup coming up this week. Who's going to win it, who's going to lose it, and your score predictions for this game as well. This has been yours truly, Mike, and I will catch y'all in the next one.